Have you ever felt so hopeless you actually convinced yourself your situation would never, could never change? What if the hopelessness you feel right now is not proof that things will never change? What if your hopelessness is just a sign of where you're at right now? Hello, friends. My name is Dallas. Welcome to my channel, Trauma to Thriving. I remember a time when my depression felt absolutely permanent. I was hopeless. I wasn't a teenager. I wasn't uninformed. As a matter of fact, I had already been working in the mental health field for nearly a decade. You see, I knew about therapy. I knew about medication. And I was still hopeless. But then, one day, my cousin Debbie came to visit from Miami. I can vividly remember we were on the 7 train, coming back home from a day of shopping, sightseeing, all the stuff that you do in New York City. And in the middle of our conversation on the 7 train, she stops and looks at me and says, "You know about the secret, right?" Secret? I immediately perked up. What secret? I want to know the secret. Tell me the secret. Of course, I thought it was some big, dark family chisme. I thought it was some story from our family that I, for some whatever reason, had not been privy to. So when she explained to me it wasn't a deep, dark family secret, it was a movie, I was like, wah, wah, wah. Okay, I'll watch it. But I didn't. Fast forward just a few weeks later, and I came across the video, and it reminded me of Debbie. And I thought, Debbie and I have had some of the same life experiences, but somehow she seems to be really happy. So I gave it a try. I bought the video, I took it home, and I watched it. Now, whether you agree with this movie or not, that's not the point. The point is that it completely shifted something inside me. The possibility that I had influence over my thoughts. I can have influence over my thoughts? Like I said, I knew about therapy. I knew about medications. And under those two umbrellas, there are many different treatment options. But the idea that I could influence my own thoughts, mind blowing. For the first time, I considered that maybe I wasn't completely powerless. At the end of that movie, you see a woman walking on the beach and she's writing the words, "Feel good," on the sand. That scene became my driving force. You see, I knew how to feel good when I'm at the beach. That's my happy place. I can do it all day long. But how to feel good right where I was, that was a riddle. How the freak can I feel good when all I ever feel is complete exhaustion? So I started small, like really small. I'm going to share with you 3 steps to take some of that pressure off. Remember, these are not healing steps. These are relief steps. So cut yourself some slack. You don't have to heal from everything right here, right now. Remember to be kind to yourself. Step number 1, Stop asking yourself to feel better. Maybe instead you can ask yourself, how can I feel a little lighter? One of the biggest mistakes we make in our depression is setting impossible goals. You know, be happy, be motivated, get your life together. And if right now you're in the thick of depression, trauma, anxiety, that's like asking someone with a broken leg to run a marathon. So instead of those impossible goals, try asking what would make this moment a little easier. Maybe it's taking a shower. Maybe it's not. I have had clients tell me when they were at their lowest point, the sensation and pressure of the water on the skin was too much. And if that's where you are, that's okay. Remember, you have power now. This doesn't mean it will always be this way. So maybe you try something different. Maybe instead of a shower, for you, it's a bath. Maybe it's opening your blinds or drinking a full glass of water. Maybe it's sitting outside for 5 minutes. The goal right now isn't happiness. The goal now is to reduce the anguish. Step number 2, borrow some hope from someone else. This is something I used to do without even realizing. When I worked on an inpatient detox unit, I would work every other weekend. And something really curious would happen on Sundays. About 90% of the clients would be watching the same program. These were all different types of people. Well educated, street educated, affluent, homeless, different everything. Yet they were all borrowing hope from a televangelist. When we're depressed, our brains are a terrible source of information. Our brains become nothing but a liar. It'll tell you everything feels hopeless. Everything is hopeless. What a liar. That's why sometimes we have to borrow hope from someone who can see farther than we can. For me, that was my cousin Debbie. She saw possibilities I could not. Maybe for you, it's a friend, a pastor, a YouTube video, a Bible verse. So when your mind says nothing will ever change, try saying something like, maybe today I can't believe that things will ever change, but I can borrow someone else's belief until I can. Sometimes healing begins with borrowed hope. Step number 3, give your nervous system a signal of safety. We know that trauma and depression often keeps the body stuck in survival mode. Our body thinks danger is everywhere. Try giving your nervous system one message and let that message be right here, right now, in this moment, I am safe. It's easy. How do you reinforce that? Again, so easy, but we overcomplicate things. We're so cute. Just take some deep breaths. 3 to 5 is all you need. Or Wrap yourself in a blanket. Sit out in the sunshine. Pet your dog. Pet your cat. Listen to praise music. Another one that I do without even thinking. To this day, all I listen to in my car is praise music. These things may seem small, but small signals of safety tell the body that it can stop fighting for a few minutes. And a few minutes of relief can become an hour. An hour can become a day. And a day can become the beginning of a different life. Remember, if it happened for me, it can absolutely happen for you. One of the biggest lies depression ever told me was that I had no power. Not total power, not magical power, just no power. No power. The first crack in that lie was when I realized I had a choice. I had a choice about where I directed my attention. Not all the time, and definitely not perfectly, but just enough to begin creating tiny shifts. And those tiny shifts, repeated over and over again, they eventually changed my life. If today you are in the weeds of trauma, depression, anxiety, don't focus on healing. Don't focus on next year. Don't even focus on becoming a different version of yourself. Instead, ask yourself, what is one thing I can do in the next 5 minutes that will make this moment just a little easier? Breathe. Sometimes that's where thriving begins. I'll leave you with this thought. Jesus says we are here to do 3 things: love God, love yourself, love your neighbor. I love you. If any of this has resonated with you, please do comment. Let me know where you're watching from. Have a blessed week. I'll see you next week.